Hi, welcome to the Lesson 4 tutorial for Illustrator in a book. This is the end file. This is what you are aiming towards building. You'll notice, well, this is what we start with in this file. So you have a bunch of pieces of various things that we're going to turn into a bird, a parrot, a butterfly, I think another bird. We'll take a look at what these become. But we're going to fill in all these blank spaces with these objects that we're going to build. So a bird, a parrot, a butterfly, and two different types of birds. For today, this is where we're going to start. We're going to work on Artboard 2, 3, and 4. So the first thing you're going to do is select Artboard 2, and you're going to view Fit Artboard in Window. So we're going to start working with this bird on Artboard 2. You can see that down here in the status bar, the document window. You're going to click the zoom tool and click twice on the upper right hand, this thing. We're going to turn this into part of the bird. Okay, you have an eraser tool in your tools panel. Click and hold that and select the scissors. You're going to position, I think we've skipped a step. Go to the selection tool first, click on the red object, then go to your scissors, and you're going to position the pointer above this anchor point right here, and then the word anchor in the Smart Guides will pop up so you know you're cutting along the path. So we're going to simply cut once here, and you have to, with the scissors, you must cut on a line or a curve rather than on an endpoint of an open path. So you can't cut like a line segment, for example. It has to be a closed path or a shape. The book has you turning the Smart Guides off at this point. You can, if you want, by going View Smart Guides and clicking Smart Guides to turn them off, but I like to have them on, so I'm just going to leave it. Then we're going to select the Direct Selection tool, and we're going to grab this anchor point and pull it to the left, the one that we just cut. Then you're going to grab this anchor point up here and pull this up to the left as well. Now you'll notice our shape gets filled in with the red fill color, but the stroke doesn't actually go across this new section that we've just modified. So cutting with scissors tool makes an open path. If you want a closed path, you have to see what we're about to do, which is joining the path. So when more than one open path is selected, you can join them to create a closed path. So we're going to select the selection tool, and we're going to click away from the red path to deselect it. Then we're going to click the red fill again. This step is important because only one anchor point was left selected from the previous section. If you were to choose the join command with only one anchor point selected, an error message would have appeared. So by selecting the whole path, when you apply the join command, Illustrator simply will find the two ends of the path and connect them with a straight line. So now you go Object, Path, Join, and this is where you'll notice now the stroke closes this path. Then you're going to click off to deselect. Then again you're going to click this to select it again. Choose the eyedropper tool and click the blue bird so that now we have the same color here. So the eyedropper, many of you have used this already. It samples the appearance attributes like stroke and fill from what you click and applies those same attributes to whatever it is that you have selected. So now we are going to drag the tail of this bird by clicking selection, drag it to about right there, and now if you zoom out you can see you've got the bird. So click off, and you can file save if you want to at this point. So another way to cut a shape is by using the knife tool. So you're going to go down here, click to Artboard 3, and you see this parrot. Click and hold down the scissors here and select the knife, and position the knife above the green shape, so somewhere about here, and you're just going to cut like that. And now you've got a little segment of the beak that it's a closed path now, so we're going to change the color of that shortly. So that was a very free form cut. If we want to have a straight cut, We're going to position the mouse up here, and we're going to hold down Option and Shift, and now you'll get your straight line. And dragging across the shape this way, you're always going to get a completely straight line, and pressing Shift will constrain that straight line to a 45-degree angle. Now we're going to make 2 more cuts the same way, holding down Option and Shift. So 1 cut, 2 cuts. There you go. It doesn't have to be precise exactly where you choose to make your cuts. Then let's go Select, Deselect, and select the Selection tool. This time you're going to click the first green shape, and you're going to choose, it has you choosing CMYK Cyan. Then the next one we're going to select is, so click off, and then select this one. And it has you choosing a certain red color with cyan at 15, magenta at 100, yellow at 90, and black at 10. I'm just going to choose this red. Feel free to choose your own color. With the 3 green shapes left, you're going to actually click the middle one. And again, the book specifies an orange color of cyan 0, magenta 80, yellow 95, and black 0. I am just going to click this one. Now, what I am going to do, because I think we skipped this step, is draw a marquee selection around those, go up here and turn my stroke off, because we don't need a stroke there. The rest of the bird doesn't have any stroke either. So we are now going to select this entire bird, an object group, and now you're going to File and save your file. Okay, the last thing we're going, one of the last things we're going to do, we're going to go to artboard number. We are back to the bird, so I think that's 2. So we're back here. We're going to use the eraser tool. Now, the eraser tool lets you erase any of your vector artwork regardless of the structure. So click and hold here. It's kind of cool. Gives you a lot of control. Oh, sorry, we need to go back, select this guy, and then you're ready to select the eraser. By selecting the white shape, we're going to erase only that shape and nothing else. So if we accidentally had a slip and we came down here, because only the white shape is selected, we wouldn't have to worry about accidentally erasing part of this bird shape that we don't want to erase. Okay, now we are going to double click the eraser tool so we can just alter some of its properties. I've already done this. The only thing you're going to alter is your size to 20 points. And then you're going to click OK, and your eraser is about as big as you see here. Now we're going to position the pointer off to the upper left-hand corner here, and we're going to erase in kind of a U shape, like this. And you'll notice automatically we get a closed half circle or a closed path. We're going to turn off the stroke of this object, and we're going to fill it. I chose this blue color. The book tells you cyan 85, magenta 50, yellow 0, and black 0. Choose a blue color that you like. You can also, of course, erase in a straight line. Press Escape to get rid of that. Now we're going to choose the Selection tool, select this circle, and go back to the eraser. And this time we're going to hold down Shift, and we're just going to erase right here. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, I think, there we go. Make sure you have Shift held down before you start erasing. So I kind of sliced through the middle. Now you notice you have a closed path up here and a closed path down here. That could be useful for some of your artwork going forward, but in this case, we're just going to erase this up here. This little guy is going to become the wing of the bird. So now we're going to choose the eyedropper tool and click there. So now we have a matching eye and wing. Now, with this larger blue shape still selected, you're going to go Object, Transform, Rotate, and type in -20 here, or use this to get to -20. And you'll notice it's changed its angle. And now we're going to drag the shapes, Selection tool, drag the shapes so the wing is about there and the eye is about there. And there's our bird. Now you can select all active on artboard and object group. And then that bird is ready to be used going forward. The last thing we're going to do in this tutorial is the butterfly on artboard 4. So this will actually become a butterfly. So we're going to view, fit artboard in window. It will look like this. Hit the zoom tool and click a few times in the red and green shapes. So they're about that big for you. Select the selection tool and drag a marquee across the red. We're going to drag a marquee across this whole thing. So that's selected. In order to edit the shapes with the shape builder, they need to be selected. So we're about to use the shape builder tool. Go here and select the shape builder tool. Now you've used this before to combine shapes. So what you're going to do is position the pointer up here and draw a scribble across there. Now I have modified my shape builder property to straight line. Yours will still be on freeform. So then yours will kind of look like that. Okay, so now I've joined and I have this and this. Now something that we didn't study before is that you can actually hold down Option, and now you'll get a minus as part of your pointer, and then you can click there and click there to get rid of those. So the holding down Option is a modifier key with the shape builder tool. Now we're going to double click the shape builder tool, and at this point you're going to click straight line and OK. So by default, the shape builder tool gives you the free form that you saw over here, where we can kind of draw in an arc or whatever direction you want. But as you just saw, by double clicking here, you can select straight line as well. So that's what we're going to use now. Keep all of these shapes selected, and now we're going to hold down Option, and we are going to do this, okay? So we wanted to get rid of that green shape. Option, remember, is a modifier, so we got the minus sign. If I just go back, holding down Option, we get the minus sign. So that is how we were able to delete that green portion. Now, you are going to make sure these are still selected. We're going to change the fill color to this orange-red shape. These are not selected. So now we need to change the fill color to this orange-red shape. Now we're going to hit Escape to get rid of the color palette, Object, Group, and View, Fit Artboard. View, Fit Artboard in Window. Now we're going to work with these guys. Okay, so make sure your smart guides are on by going View, and make sure your check mark for smart guides are on at this point if you've turned them off before. So you're going to grab one of these guys, and the smart guides are good because you can see they snap right into place, and you can tell you're doing this in a centered way. I just want to move that up 1 pixel, so I just use the up arrow on my keyboard. Then I'm going to bring this guy over here, okay? And again, if you feel like, see how there's this little white line in between? I'm going to select that again and inch it up 1 pixel, so now you don't have that little white line between this object and this object. At this point, we're just going to leave these. We're going to come back and work at these in the upcoming lesson 4 tutorial. But for now, we're just going to leave it here. So I would like you to File, Save, and we'll move on with this next time.